Sorry, guys. I'm just contacting my local surgery, and also we'll have a little general chat as well. Hope you guys can hear anyway. I'm chasing up something because next week I'm facing an eviction, which I'll talk about. Hi there. Yeah, I am chasing up something because I'm being evicted next week. So housing options and Carl from the crisis team, they said they've not had the paperwork from T felin.
Right, okay. What paperwork are you expecting?
They
Sorry, I
what
don't deal with this, so...
they need medical things because they need to know where to put me properly
Okay.
because I got arthritis and heart conditions and all that. They can't just throw me
Yeah.
into a hotel, which is not very good standards, especially with the
Oh.
cold air and all that. So they need to know if they
Oh.
need to put me into an arbor accommodation.
Okay, what's your name, please?
Okay, it's Paul Andrew Page.
And
Carl from the crisis team in Swansea. Because he did phone last week. He said he was going to phone. He's in a meeting this morning as well. And with the weekend coming up, and I'm being evicted on the 7th of July, I haven't got much time. It's very urgent.
what's your phone number, Paul?
My phone number, just give me 2 seconds.
Get one of the colleagues to call you back, okay?
Okay, thanks for that, and you take care
You're
now, okay?
welcome.
Right,
And
bye
you
bye.
too, bye.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, I mean, that surgery. Yeah, I mean, hello. What happened? What happened to my camera? What happened to my camera? What the heck happened to the camera? Did I? Yeah? Hold on. Let's try the other one. Did I? Did I? Hold on. What happened to the camera? Yeah, you guys can still hear me. Yeah, you know that. But hold on, hold on. Let's go back one. Oh, there we go. We're back. Anyway, yeah. So I'll do, guys. I'll keep typing as well because I've still got to fill something out. This is what I've noticed, guys, with the establishment and all that and so forth. I mean, I do all the running around. I do like the exposing, I mean, of and everything else that goes on, and I don't ask for credit or nothing like that. I mean, and what my friends and people that have downloaded my stuff in the past have found, what's going on now, myself and many others over 10 years ago, I've exposed a lot of things that are happening now, and so when like myself now asking for help and all of that and so forth, we get a lot of these people that have no clue what's going on, being snooty and going, "Oh, that's just your opinion," right? And I just point out to them, "No, the stuff we got going on right now." Myself and others have actually exposed it, not because we sat down and wrote it out and all that. No, we just looked at the clues. We just looked at the thing I mean, and I think let me just get, give this person thing. Mm. There we go. Um. mm. Hold on. I just basically typed, just called them useless, and out part be quicker. I asked the dead from a graveyard. Yeah, that's my humour, guys. That's my dark sense of humour coming through. Which is true, though. A lot of these people in the establishment and all of that, so the public have been brainwashed, to go to these people, and either the crisis team, housing options, doctors, you name it, all of that. All these people in these places are slow. You know what I mean? I just watched this morning, a little bit of the Swansea Council thing. You know what I mean? And the snobbery and arrogance I noticed, guys. I mean, the person was asking for more, clarity, asking for stuff on the planning permissions, and talk about the land permission and all that and so forth. To be honest, nobody owns the land. You know what I mean? Because if we own the land, that means we never die. You know, we rent the land while we're here and so forth for a short space of time before the meat suit dies off and all of that. But the way these people, so the councils and parliament and all these other authorities, like, we're gods. No, you're not. You're blood and flesh. You know what I mean? Because, if somebody walked in, touch wood, that doesn't happen, but if somebody walked in and put a gun and blew their heads off, they'd be dead on the floor. In other words, they're just people, right? That's just an example to show they're just people, you know what I mean? Despite the always like, oh, how dare you speak like that? You know what I mean? You know the type and all that. So, and yet we see like thousands to millions of people in this country give the authorities, like we bow down to you. No, don't do that. You're being blasphemy to the real divine, the real one. You know what I mean? The one that can create universes and all of that and so forth. I mean, these people in these positions are actually blaspheming against God. In other words, they're saying we're better than God by just taking on the roles that they got as councillors and parliamentarians and all of that and so forth. They're blaspheming on so many levels. It does state in the Bible as well, not to serve two masters. I mean, if these people are not serving the divine and all of that, we're supposed to reject them. You know what I mean? But anyway, so I thought I'd come on, guys, because I haven't done a live stream in a while, and I haven't done a lot of things in a while. And I've also been heavily, listening to the scripture of God and stuff like that, and trying my best as well with my dyslexia to read the Bible and all of that and everything else, you know what I mean? So, and and the thing is, well, I noticed the establishment authorities don't like me criticising them as well, because they're like, we're getting the money for this, that, and so forth, and while the authorities are actually selling out the people, committing crimes against humanity and all of that, and the police that go along with it as well, because whatever government says, the police will do. So the police are also committing crimes against humanity as well. They may not like it, but you are. And the reason why you'll get offended, because you haven't looked into what's really going on. So therefore, you'll get offended and go after those that are speaking the truth and all of that and everything, and arrest them to try and shut them up, while you will still lose your jobs to what the person has exposed. Think about it. Like I was saying, it doesn't matter if I'm dead or alive, the agendas are still going on and the police will still lose their jobs. Anyway. And the thing is, well, every being in the police force right now will lose that job. Think about it. Every being in the police force right now will lose that job. And you can't say you won't. Think about that. So which side are you going to be on? Some of you will probably just worked up and gone, wait a minute, I think I know where he's going with this. He's right. And the thing is, well, right, and it's not just the police, it's everybody. Everybody right now that's in a job will lose that job. Think about it. And yet we have so many people having to go at those that are unemployed because, we're economic forum and all of that. Despite we're seeing some creation of jobs, like 100,000 there, but due to the World Economic Forum and Starmer, who's now resigned and all that, despite we're going to have Andy Burnham, who's a Zionist puppet, to step in, and I exposed him back before 2020, and I looked at his wife, who's linked to much of the media circle and all that, and a few other things back then, and I noticed Google, right, this week, I did another check on Andy Burnham and his wife. They're starting to censor his wife's connections to a lot of things. I've noticed that. But anyway, but Andy Burnham is a bitch puppet for the Zionists / Israel and everything else and so forth. He's for the synagogue of Satan and all that. So I people go against, oh, it's Islam and this, that. No. We got to look at the synagogue of Satan. Anybody, that's against God's creations, not because we are God's creation at the end of the day and so forth, are part of the synagogue of Satan. You know what I mean? Because even in the Bible, when he was calling out the fake Jews, also called the fake Jews and those, part of the synagogue of Satan. You can go and have a look in the Bible for yourself. It's there. So what and what I'm writing right now, I've been writing about my health and all that, and I'm actually putting it in there. Then again, I can show it to you guys actually. I haven't finished writing it though. I'm on the second page of this one. Oh no! Anyway, transform. You guys hate that, but not hate. Too much of a word. Too strong. The word hate. Fit to thing first, and then we can slide it in like that. Yeah, there you go. And the thing is, well, guys, I've been taking what they call your silver and nano gold and things like that, and I worked out, that arthritis is actually a malnutrition thing and all of that. Despite it can come out with wear and tear, but I've noticed it's a malnutrition thing, and I was like wondering for a while, why have I got malnutrition? In the form of arthritis. And the doctors, I've noticed, I don't know about you guys, but has a doctor ever told you that the arthritis is malnutrition? Yeah, they never told me. So that's what I've got there, and I've actually put in Synagogue of Satan, as you guys notice at the bottom. So when I brought it up with a doctor, and I said, why don't you doctors tell us, people with arthritis, that it's a malnutrition thing and all of that? And yet you tell people, I've heard, like one doctor, that came up to my mum, and the carers as well were saying, oh, you can have a bit of cake now, you can have all of this and so forth, and all that, and have candy and all that and so forth, right, and everything else, right? Telling her to have all these sugary stuff and all of that, which will cause more illnesses, as well. The Macmillan groups have this, like, cake and tea things put on. All that. I've noticed a lot of the authorities put on all these places where they offer what they call food and all that and everything else. And then the authorities wonder why we have high levels of illness, because in a lot of these places they put on cakes, biscuits, all this unhealthy stuff, right? And then wondering why we have a very unhealthy thing. Because if the authorities are demonstrating, that you can eat this way and it's supposed to be okay when it ain't, then why are the public then listening to authorities that are basically, the authorities are leading the way of unhealthiness? Think about it. And it's like, I forgot how long it was now, a few years ago or something like that, where Britain had this. I think it was Britain. You know what I mean, it was on X anyway. I saw it through, and this big piece. She's huge and all of that, and so forth. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? She's like, like a rhino in a dress sort of thing, right? And she was supposed to be the health minister and all of that sort of thing. And I was like, a health minister? Maybe a zoo minister, but not a health minister, right? But anyway, so if you want somebody talking about health and all of that, you don't want anybody, you know what I mean, smoking, you know what I mean, obese or anything like that. Somebody that's, you know what I mean, has done the work, and you want somebody that's chiseled and, I mean, healthy, working out and all that. Say, hey, you can do this and everything else, you know what I mean? Because I don't think the health minister we had was working out unless, you know what I mean, doing the dumbbell curl with a cake. 1 bite, 2 bites, 3 bites. I mean, that's sort of. But anyway, look at, you know, I'm a bit chunky, guys, not only because my arthritis and all of that and so forth. And to be honest, guys, I still do a bit of exercise, not much, but I still do a bit of exercise because really I should be, 24 stone and all of that, and 25. But I'm not. I'm under that. I'm under 17 stone, and I'm 6 foot, guys, and all of that, right? You know what I mean? So if I wasn't doing anything, and I was like a lot of these people, that you complain like, oh, I can't do this because of my bones, this and that. I'd be, yeah, I'd be a truck walking about the place like a 10-ton truck of fat, But anyway. Yeah, I can't help it, guys. I just, jokes are just like flying through my head right now. But anyway, so when I hear then these people, these, and the thing is, well, you look at a lot of these in authorities in the councils and all that. They haven't really got a clue what's going on. They just love the power. They just love the control. They love saying, no, we've got this. We can rule over you. We can deny you whatever you ask for. You know what I mean? That is not helping the area, right? And I've contacted Swansea Council. We'll come over here. There you go. Let's bring this over a little bit and bring that to there, right? Me personally, I've contacted the Swansea Council many times, and I brought up many agendas that, a lot of us look into, the fracking, the DART system, well, the scamdemic, as a lot of us call it, and also the fracking, I've also spoken about the housing problem and all that, and as well as much more. But all these just like, like NPCs, you come across different ones all the time, and it goes, sorry, we can't find you a home because we have a housing problem. And I'm like, yeah, people like me have got solutions, and you don't listen. Only the council can offer solutions. No, they can't, because if they did, they would have brought it forward by now. What I've noticed what the council does, they don't do anything unless they're getting money for it. You know what I mean? Think about it, and a lot of things as well, and we've seen, not all, but we've seen some of the councillors over the years taking backhanders and all of that, and so some of the councillors, you know what I mean? I listened to the words carefully, councillors out there. I said some, so, despite all of you go, oh, I never, the ones that go, oh, I never, look around you right now, see which one's doing that, then you find the guilty party. Guys, there's one there now taking the backhand, and they're like, oh, wait, what? I never. He's calling me. And he looks around like, or she looks around like, oh, why are you, our fellow councillors, looking at me? Are you taking a backhander? What he's mentioning on screen right now? that would be funny. But anyway, but there's only one problem with that, though. They gotta be watching this first. Raise your hand if you're taking a backhander. And it could, there's always an idiot, within authorities, if they're watching, they go like that. You know what I mean? And I mean, no point, because I'm not watching them, because I can't see them. But you always get one that'll be like, It's like that thing in there where you have somebody holding a cup and they've got a watch on here, and the idiot one, you go, can you tell me a time? Go, yeah, certainly. Oh, bloody hell. You get that with a lot of people in authority. Not all, but a lot. I mean, so yeah. And that's a thing I've noticed with the establishment and government and the police, and a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them, don't like you taking the piss out of them. You know what I mean? Well, then again, you know what I mean? When you go at them with a needle trying to take it out from the genitals, you know what I mean? Yeah, I probably would be fuming too. No, I've never done that. Right? Can you imagine that? No. Excuse me, officer. Pull down your trousers, pull down your underwear. You know what I mean? Hold on, I just want to take some piss out of your genitals for a moment. What am I doing? Bicycle pump? Out it comes. Oh, young man. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, this morning, I misread something this morning. You know what I mean? It said, what would you add with bacon? So I said a panda car. But anyway. You know what I mean? So, I know. And these days, you gotta be careful with jokes like that and everything. You know what I mean? Luckily, I don't mean any harm with that. You know what I mean? But there'll be a lot of people out there. I can't believe he said that. And the thing is, as well, some of the police know I do like loads of dark jokes about myself and all of that. You know what I mean? And I've had loads of people having to go at me, attacking me, and all of that and so forth. And I can take it, but I've noticed when I dish it out, they can't take it. You know what I mean? How many officers did it take to stop the truth? In my case, 25. There'd be a lot in Swansea and go same place like, I can't believe he said that. And there'd be one in the background. He's right, you know, you do keep suppressing him. And I mean, so, but anyway. So, yeah. I don't know what it is, guys. You know what I mean? I don't know what keeps me speaking out and all that. Well, actually, I do. You know, God. You know, because my trust is in Jesus Christ and all of that and so forth. And I just keep speaking out. You know what I mean? You got to. You know what I mean? Because if you don't speak out, then what I've witnessed and all of that and experienced on so many levels, right? And I think I mentioned this. I mean, I'll repeat it anyway, just in case. You know what I mean? When I was down Dunnock and down in Clacton-on-Sea, which was run by Elsium, right? I was down there, and if people think the RFD chip, is not coming here because they haven't seen it yet, despite there are a few people now in the UK that've got it. I was down there, and with the scanning technology, we now we have a card and all of that and so forth and everything else and so on, right? I basically witnessed somebody, right, with their hand, no card. You know what I mean, they did the back round here somewhere, right? The chip would be right, and they just went up to the thing, scanned it like that, and the door just went. All because they didn't want to carry a card or keys to open doors and all that. How lazy. I mean, that's the trouble with the mindset of a lot of the public these days, is they're going for convenience, not realizing they're giving up their freedoms. They're allowing themselves to be tagged. And I mean, and the thing is, as well, what I've noticed with the, let me just check my Amazon for a second as well. Because I've got Laminator pouches coming today because I'm going to be putting up a lot of posters tonight, and I may upset the authorities, but hey, it needs to be done. Uh, I mean, I don't mean I'm going to do put stuff out there to deliberately upset them, but because they're too busy going, oh, we're in control, you must bow down to us, and all that BS, right? Because I'm exposing the crimes within the establishment and a lot more and so forth. Most of my work is actually local based. I don't put a lot of it what I do online. So if you guys have come across my work in the past on multiple sites, and even one of my websites that's fallen, you know what I mean? We used to be called boywills.com. It's been taken out. It's gone. It's for now. The authorities went at it and took it out. You know what I mean? The Zionist authorities and all that. And then you would notice, especially on boywills.com, I had like shed loads of tables, loads of links, you know what I mean, and thousands of people, you know what I mean, during the months, you know what I mean, would go on it, and it was up there for years, over 10 years, you know what I mean, and a lot of you woken up through it, and the beauty about that is, it wasn't all my work, you know what I mean. There'll be people saying, hey, I think you need to go and check this bit out, and all that and so forth, and be like a working together sort of thing, you know what I mean. Sorry guys, I'm just looking at my phone. But yeah, and so, I mean, and that's how I used to run Speaker.com. Yeah, I mean, my podcast thing over there, you know what I mean, the Lionheart Show. It started off as the Kanji Show, which is Kanji, and then it went on and became the Lionheart Show, and it was like a mixture of, yes, I had to make sure that I was checking it for myself, make sure it's true and all that and everything else to the best of my ability, as well as if somebody said, hey, you know, I think you need to go and check this out, and I said, okay, send me the link, let me go and check for myself and all that, and do cross-reference and use critical thought and all of that, because I like to go out and debunk, and then if it stands to the test of time, through the me trying to debunk it and cross-reference and all that, then I'm like, okay, fair enough, I'll whack it in, you know what I mean, in the show and put it up on the website and so like that, and put it part as a table for other people and so on. And if something that I've got slightly wrong, then I'll put a little side note saying, yeah, a lot of this thing in this document is, you know what I mean, above board, it's true and all that, but it's like one or two bits, you know what I mean, like this bit here, that bit is out of order, so you need to go and check this other document for this bit, you know, and all that. You know what I mean, which you get a lot of people that if you say to them, oh, this bit's wrong, you know, they're like, oh, how dare you, this is, I've researched this, and how dare you, it's not wrong. I mean, you know, that's something, and I'm like, whoa, somebody's got a big ego, haven't they? I'm like that. You know the type. I mean, I've been doing this for so long now, you know what I mean, there isn't anything I don't think now that surprises me, you know what I mean, when it comes to what governments get up to, what people in governments get up to, you know what I mean? If they're willing to, this is what people need to get into their mindsets as well. If those in Parliament are willing to sacrifice the people of the country, right, that means they're willing to sacrifice, you know, the old age, the disabled, babies, children, you name it, everything, just for the money and position of power. Think of that. Does that sound like a godly person to you? Does that sound like you know what I mean, a decent being? No. So why do you keep voting for them? I don't. Think about it. They're in there for their paycheck. Think about it. A lot of them, you know, well, all of them, the first thing that comes to their mind is how they're going to keep that position to make sure they got a wage packet. That is the first thing. They may not say it to you openly or say it to you, but I mean, don't forget, they've still got to pay a mortgage. They still got to pay this, that, and everything else. So the first thing that comes to mind is how are they going to get money to pay their bills and all that and so on. And because you know what I mean, are paying taxes for many different ways, either buying milk at the store or paying council tax or this, that, for many different forms of tax, you know, petrol tax, road tax, clothing tax, you know, all different types, right? So when they say the unemployed are not paying tax as well, the unemployed are paying tax. You know, I mean, otherwise they'd be naked, otherwise walking the streets with no clothes on. Think of it. They're paying 20 pence, 20% tax on the clothing and all that. The ones that are not really paying tax are the royals. I mean, there are those in the royal family that are not paying tax. And also, you get the Rothschilds. You know what I mean? Which Rothschilds is the shield of Edom. They're not paying tax because we're paying into their banking system and all that and so forth. And the taxes are going into paying off the banking debt, which people in Parliament took out. You know, I mean, we are paying. Don't forget, a lot of us, we're not alive with some of the loans that Parliament took out, and yet we're supposed to pay that back. No, you and I did not agree to that loan. Parliament did. People in Parliament at the time did. So why do we have to pay that back? What they did by taking those loans out is sold out the future generations' futures, basically, and put them into debt as debt slaves for the banking cartels and everything else. You know what I mean? And yet, this is one of the reasons why there's a homelessness issue because of the Shield of Edom, because of the Rothschilds and because of the Edomites and a lot more. People, the greed has made sure that there isn't any money going into the homes. But then again, because money has come into, in the people's lives, and it's a new creation. Before money came about, didn't people build homes before money came about? Of course they did. So our way of thinking of building homes have changed. Our skill sets towards producing homes have changed, and the quality in a lot of homes are actually less. Think about it. If you don't have to buy a home and all that, so you can just build. You can use any material you want. You know what I mean? Because you have then not got money restrictions, you can use the best material. Think about it. You know what I mean? And then all you need then is people in that skill level to come in and go up to the best material and build you the best home out of that material. But because of today, we have the money there, which is restricting. So what's going to happen? Because the prices are getting higher and higher and higher, so the quality of material is going to be less and less and less because you're going to go for the cheapest and not the best material. Isn't it? You know what I mean? This is why like police officer once said to me, something the police force said to me, would you ever become a prime minister? I went, no. Because the first duty would be to close down Parliament, so therefore I'd be shot on the first day. and the person was just like, whoa, now that's a truthful answer. Because I'd be shot on the first day, because that would be my first engagement of business, to close Parliament down. So therefore, the Bank of England would not have a straw to suck through to cripple this country. Oh, hello. Hello.
Hi, Paul. It's Louise calling you back from felin surgery. We haven't had any call from the crisis team at all.
That's strange because, because Carl was saying to me that you guys have received a call from him, but yet...
No, we haven't had anything from him. There's nothing. I've just gone into your notes now, Paul, and there's nothing there, nothing written down at all.
If you want, I can give you the mobile number. I've got his mobile number up in front of me.
Right, okay, yeah. If you give me his number, I'll give him a call.
That's interesting. That's interesting, guys. Yeah, I mean, because I'm so nice to them at Tifa, and despite that they're a bit slow, and I can be, critical of them. They've noticed that, you know what I mean. But I'm nice with it. I'm not like, You know what I mean? Not like some people, they go in and go, oh, you're a lot of fucking this and effing that and D this and that. No, I'm not like that. I'm critical, but I also offer a solution. Well, because, this is not going the way it should be going, should we actually try it this way and see what happens? And they don't mind that. You know what I mean? They don't mind that at all. You know what I mean? And, I wasn't critical there or nothing like that because, she's going to be phoning Carl and all that. And I said, yeah, she's in the meeting, but she's still like, no, I'm going to phone him. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to, and the thing is as well, I spoke to somebody that was homeless over Christmas time, you know what I mean? And he said they're useless. They get you all running around, but it's very little that goes on to help you out. You know what I mean? Like little to non-existence. And because I'm live streaming it, you guys are getting to see the process beforehand, before I end up on the streets and all that and everything else. Despite I've got, I've been trying to get my online store of clothing to sell and all that, but because I've had police attacking me, I've had the courts lying about me, I've had this, that, and so forth. I've had the Freemasons that have done their best to make sure that I never get my evidence into court. You know what I mean? Because if I went in, all the attacks I've had, you know what I mean, against me and all of that, and also everything I've exposed openly online about is already, people already downloaded my shows from Spreaker, you know what I mean? Despite my old account on Spreaker has been gone, but many people have already downloaded those shows. And it's not just like 5 people or 6. There was over thousands of people that downloaded those shows, so they have not silenced me. You know what I mean? They think, we've stopped him getting the information out. No, you haven't, because myself and many millions across the world have actually got the information out. You know what I mean? Not just my work, but many other people's work. Now, right now, YouTube are trying to silence Rich Tidwell, who's speaking out against the synagogue of Satan and all that right now. So go and check him out on Rumble and stuff like that. Type in Rich Tidwell, as in Tidwell. You know what I mean? Or something like that. I have 1 L, 2 L's at the end. Type it in and check his work out and all of that as well. And so when I've been dealing, and the thing is, well, what I've noticed with the police as well, not all of them, but some of them, they are very abusive towards disabled people. Very abusive, very aggressive and all of that, you know what I mean? Because when they arrested me, you know what I mean, for stopping a thug from trying to kill me and all of that, you know what I mean, they stripped me, you know what I mean? They didn't let me have my walking stick or nothing. They just stripped me and all of that. And they did a lot of bad things, you know what I mean? And when I came out, you know what I mean, and most people will be like, oh, no, I'm going to stay quiet, I'm going to stay hidden and all that and so forth, right? Do you know what the first thing I did? When money came through, I just thought, you know what, I'm going to open a podcast. And that was back in, 2010, 2011, because yes, I got arrested in 2007, but I thought to myself, when I get the money, I'm going to open up a radio show or stuff like that. And I spent time researching, looking into things, and then eventually I came across Spreaker.com, right? And I made friends through Spreaker.com, you know what I mean? And also, Unseen, which Unseen was a place where I could go and have a chat with people and all that, and I made a friend through that, you know what I mean? And we still friends this very day. She's listened to all, almost. Well, she's listened to most of my Spreaker shows and stuff like that because she's been busy with other things as well, you know what I mean? And she heard me speak out against Israel, you know what I mean? Before the October 7th bullshit, you know what I mean? And I've been playing Elan Pape stuff. I've been looking at the children out there being beheaded by Israel and much more. You know what I mean? And what the police don't like, and the 40s have never liked. I mean, they thought they crushed me and all that. They thought they got me to stay silent. You know what I mean? But when they started to find out, you know what I mean, I'm actually speaking up now. You know what I mean? Because I started the Kanji Show Liner Show because I don't like bullies. That's the main reason why I started podcasting and all that, because I don't like bullies. And even the police years later, when they've gone into like Rob Davis Court and they saw my mic set up and everything, they're like, "Oh, you got a pretty good setup." Yeah, I set up because I got bullied. They're like, "Huh?" Yeah, I got into podcasting and all that because I got bullied. I speak out against bullies. I mean, and then when the police came here and they saw the stream decks and everything and so forth, they said again, you know, different people in clothing, you know what I mean? They say, "Oh, you got a nice setup." Yeah, because I'm against bullies and stuff like that, and I speak out against corruption and criminals and all that and so forth. Yeah, I mean, I do what I can because you guys can't. And they're like, "Oh, you know what I mean?" So, you know what I mean? And interesting, right? In the last 8 days, I had a police car like slowly going past. Right, I got my, I brought my screen back from what you call it, storage, and I brought another screen. I got me here as well, but I got one in the window pointing out, right, and I've got a whiteboard just there as well, and the police car is like slowly going by, right, looking at it. So I look out, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because I got no nets up. All I got like is like, you know, green screen stuff. I mean, hanging right in front of the window. So I just look out like that, and the officer that I was like looking like, oh, like that's. I mean, that's interesting behaviour. I thought officers are supposed to be like, we're brave, ha ha. But as we've seen a lot, you know, some of them are a bit like, they're like, "Oh no, don't look at me." Like, you're supposed to be an officer. You're supposed to have a courage of a lion. but some people were like, there's only like a few that I've come across that I would happily go into battle with. You know what I mean? Because they would happily go after evil no matter what. You know what I mean? But they've got, I mean, it's certain ones that have been in the police force for so many years, but they don't go up the rankings. You notice that? Those are the ones I think that have tried exposing a lot of evil, even probably come across certain things within the police that are linked with Freemasonry and you know, linked with like Epstein Island level stuff and all that. But yeah, because they will not shut up, they will not stop exposing it. They stay at the bottom of the ladder all the time. Those are the ones that I trust. You know what I mean? Because you ask yourself, why ain't you going up the levels? You know what I mean? And they're like, "Oh, I can't say." And I just go, "Is it because of the stuff I'm into, and you're trying to expose that as well?" And they give this look like, like that. I'm like, "Yeah, it is." Okay, you've tried to bring it to the attention of the courts and all that, and but you've got some chief inspector who's probably a Mason, and he's like keeping you down, or she's keeping you down. Is it because of that? Oh, I can't say. They go. So yeah, I mean, that's why I've said on my speaker show years ago, you know, if I had the money, I would set up my own, maybe not police force, you know, because police, you know, when you say it a certain way, you can also call it as policy force. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I've said that to the police as well. I thought it one time, and this female officer went, "Hi, police here." I went, "Okay, I'm here for the policy force, please." She's like, "Wait, what?" "No, we are the police. Yeah, policy." Oh man, I mean, because I'm actually saying police, but I'm saying also in the way of saying policy. You know what I mean? I mean they, and there's one time as well when the police have said to me, "Do you understand?" "No, I comprehend." They're like, "Huh?" Some of you know why I'm doing these word games, you know, with the police and all that, and so it's not to be funny, not to be arrogant and all that and so forth, But it shows I've been learning about the system and all that and so forth. And you can't beat the system by going at it, because there's a saying, iron and iron. So if the system's coming at you and then you respond to it, you both are sharpening each other up. And I mean, despite you may lose your home and so forth, but you still both sharpen up, getting aware of one another. But if one comes at you and you don't respond and you just walk away, the system's got nothing to feed on. So the system then just like dies from hunger. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what a lot of people are doing. They just like, system's coming at them, but they go after the system, and then the system then is getting fed and then getting stronger and stronger, and then us, the public, are getting destroyed because of it. You know what I mean? So I think what we need to do is just say, hey, okay, system, you only get stronger if we feed you by giving you taxes, or we try and take you on, this, that, and so forth. No, we're just going to walk away and just let you starve to death and die. You know what I mean? That's why, you know, when people say to me, oh, why don't you take this person to court? No, I want to starve the system. I don't want to go into a court system and feed it with money. Think about it. Even if you know what I mean? And the thing is, if everybody here right now went into a court system today, we would be funding the PDF network system. Think of all the politicians, not all, but think of a lot of the politicians and a lot of the councillors, and there will be police as well. There'll be like so many people within the institution establishment that are PDFs. So if you go into a court system and you pay in your taxes and all of and so forth, then you're paying for the system to cover up the PDF crimes. But if we go the opposite way, say, hey, right, I'm not going to pay my taxes to this. I'm not going to do, take it on to that, and just walk away and just let the die. They're not going to have money for cover-ups. They're not going to have that. You know what I mean? That's why I've been bold all the time, saying I'm never going to have a job to pay taxes towards this corrupt system. I've said to the DWB, I've said to the job centres, I've said, but I'm willing to work outside of the system. There's a difference. I'm working all the time. I'm creating designs to put on my online stores. Right now I'm writing something by year. You know what I mean? I'm also speaking out against the system and all that and so forth. Not going after it to attack it, but just saying, hey, highlights, lighthouse. You know what I mean? Because you just shine a light on it. Light's not really attack it. You know what I mean? Because what does darkness does when you shine light? It tries to go back into more darkness. The more light, more it retreats to try and hide until it time for it to attack. We keep shining light to the point it. You know what I mean? You shine light so much there isn't any shadow unless you stand in front of the light and then you create a shadow. But anyway, apart from that, so that's the thing. You know what I mean? We've got to shine that light. You know what I mean? On all corruptions, all evils, and everything, and so forth. You know what I mean? And that's why I think I get attacked a lot, because a lot of people know that what I'm doing, they probably may feel like I couldn't leave and then try to be outside of the system, and I'm like, I'm not like trying to be out of the system straight away. I'm building towards, you know what I mean? Because I was like heavily in the system and all that, but now I know I've got my tents, I've got my generators and all that and so forth. I got like loads of stuff. I'm probably like a midway point. You know what I mean? I'm like at the bridging stage where I'm like slightly in, not slightly, but like a little bit in the system and a little bit out of the system. Cause I'm like slowly kind of. Only a fool would be like, jump fully out and you got no skills, you got nothing there and so forth, and it's like, now I'm screwed. You know what I mean? No, you don't do that. You know what I mean? You feel yourself right. How do I get from A to B to C to D to E? Right. What am I gonna need? You know what I mean? To get into B. You know what I mean? And you think, right, I'm going to need this tool, I'm going to need that tool, and I'm going to need this, I'm going to need that. So there you go and get that stuff. Then you think to yourself, right, how do I get from B to C? okay, I've got this stuff now, but now I'm going to need this. So it's like a slow build up to it and all of that. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people think, right, to maybe to go off grid, like go from A to Z, boom, straight away. It's like no, you'll crash and fall. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You'll cause more harm to yourself. You know what I mean? The system wouldn't care. You know what I mean? So you like slowly build out of it. You know what I mean? You slowly build. You know what I mean? It's like me. I've got a tent, behind me now, but I've also got another tent just in case. A much bigger tent. You know what I mean? Also in storage. You know what I mean? So I've got like a small tent here. You know, just in case I need, an emergency, just get the heck out of here. And then I've got a big tent. Then I can go to. You know what I mean? Once this, I use a small tent, and certain coverings. I mean, and then I'll use the spade I got to dig, put the tent into the ground so it's hidden and all that and everything. Well, I'll go off and get the bigger tent, and then this, that, and then do the same again. Put the tent, dig down, put the bigger tent into the ground with certain ways of getting back out, back and forth, and do it that way. So it's been, so you basically, what I'm also saying, you got to plan it out as well instead of just going, right, today I'm going to go from here to that and see yourself like going, where am I going to sleep now? No, you don't rush it. You don't be hasty. You plan things properly and all that. You know what I mean? And also have like now I'm learning certain skill sets as well. Say if I lost a tent, I lost everything, I still would need the skill set to survive from starting from nothing. Like, Ryan, what am I going to use to, knock out wood or something like that, or knock something out? Look around for a broken branch. Look for a stone connected to the stone, a certain type of stone. Then wrap maybe a vine or two around it to create like a hammer or an axe and so forth, and then get the work. That way. Like all little things. Like that. Nicely that you plan ahead and all that. And if you've got the stuff, what if you lost that stuff? Could you still have ways of making tools to help you then keep building and all that as well? There's that as well. So yeah. And I think the system is scared of that. I think that's why they created all these little telemarketing jobs. So when the system crashed and all that the majority of us then wouldn't have the skill sets to be like, oh, well, and if this happened, I can go and build a fire. I can do this. I can do that. It's like me. Like the older generations. We know if you take a bit of glass, with the sun and point it down and let a bit of time pass with the high heat coming in. And use certain materials, you can get a fire going and all that and so forth. You know what I mean? So yeah, but but if you're a person that only sees starting a fire, just by just pressing the button on a cooker or with lighters and matches, nothing wrong having those. But if you haven't got them, and the only thing you find is certain materials, and all you got is a bit of glass, there are a lot of people that wouldn't go, oh, I know, I'll put my glass and let the sun come through. Remember that? A lot of us as kids, we would get like a magnifying glass and then point them at the ground and do stuff with magnifying glass. Anyway, but yeah, it'd be interesting now. And the thing is as well, what I've noticed as well with the system and all that, it's absolutely destroyed me any chance actually to have a proper home over the next few years. That's why I bought the tents. Because we know the system don't like people standing up to criminals. So what they do as punishment, they turn you into a criminal. On paper, despite you're not a criminal, and under God's eyes, because you stood up to that person from taking your life out, the system goes, no, you can't do that. Only we can stand up to to these people. We've got our police force. You should have called them. And I'm like, no. One thing I've taught guys as well on Spreaker, right? I've always said, F the police, before I got more heavily involved in the Bible and stuff, right? And I always put a scenario. What if you haven't got a mobile phone? What if you haven't got these things that the police and all these idiots say, oh, just phone the police? What if you haven't got them? You know what I mean? And the thing is, as well, I'll demonstrate now. I'll use this, not the phone. You know, it's my phone's on a stand. I don't like really touching the mobile phone. But anyway, what if, right? This is the police way of doing things, the courts and the government's way of doing all that, right? Say, right, I mean, you have got the skill set to defend yourself. I mean, and let's say, for this instance, right, you would beat this person to get away, right? But if you use the police mentality and all of that and everything, all right, I mean, this would happen, right? You've got the wall behind you. You can't go nowhere, and the only way is to go through that, criminal, and just basically defend yourself. Police way. Criminals coming towards you, you know what I mean, and so forth. You've gone down the alley, you know what I mean, to get away from the public and get your mindset back or wherever, you know what I mean, whatever it is. So this idiot follows you down, tries to mug you, and then probably might want to kill you as well. You know what I mean? But yet, you know what I mean? Say you have got the mobile phone, see police mindset is, you can dial, hi, police and all of that, and then the person's just like stabbing you to death and killing you. By the time the police get there, no point in the police investigating for you. You're already dead. I mean, so what good is a police investigation to you? It's not, because you're dead. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, hello, police coming. That's how retarded the courtrooms and the police and the authorities and governments and bootlickers are, right? Because if I did, that, I'd be dead now, right? Because when somebody came at me and they had a knife and all of that and so forth, I protected myself. I had no phone on me and nothing like that and so forth. I'd lots of my gear in like sheath material, you know what I mean? I had fab sprays, bushcraft knives, you name it, the full works, you know what I mean? This fool should not even attempt it. These people, that attack me know that I got, in my flat I had axes, shovels, pickaxes, bow and arrow, you name it, the full flipping works, right? But because I didn't have them on me, they thought they could have a go at me and everything else. But my door was open, and plus my neighbour's door was open, and plus the security of the place wasn't secure. The green doors and the intercoms were broken. Gwalia / Pobble, now / Cody, right? So, my quick thinking, the person was coming across and so forth. I didn't have much time, so I leaned back, tried to grab whatever. I grabbed the wrong item. I didn't grab fab spray. Actually, no. At the time, I didn't know. And speaking now from the after event, I accidentally grabbed my bushcraft knife, slammed it straight into my waistband and all of that and so forth. And this person, right, said, right, my knife was open, in other words, unsheathed and all that. And I'm thinking, okay, where's the markings? Because I slammed that flipping thing hard. It should have gone straight through my skin and all that. And there's no markings there. So, A, that person lied. Because that person was covering up something. And I found the other day, guys, as well, in my storage, a knife that I don't recognize. Right? And my brother does fishing. And he has knives and that. And it's not his knife either. So there's a knife that has popped up in storage, and I didn't put the stuff in, guys. I did not put the stuff into my storage when I had to move out from the other place, right? My next door neighbours, they put the stuff in. My brother, was making sure what got sent across and all of that. And to be honest, none of us knows about this knife until to this day. I'm the only one to this point that knows about knife, because I went up this week and I went, wait, what's this? And I went through my stuff, I went, hold on, whose knife's this? Not mine, because my knife's there. That's my knife. And the other two knives I have been destroyed. So, so I'm like, who the heck's knife is this then? And I'm like, oh, could this have been the perpetrator's knife? You know what I mean? And he saw his opportunity to throw it in with my stuff, and then my neighbours and my bro stored up in storage and all that. Is that the evidence? Because I don't recognise this knife. And if I showed it to my bro, you know, and he'd be like, "No, I don't recognise this." You know, so, and if I showed it to the other two, you know, Maria and James, they'd be the same. No, we don't recognise this. You know, so it's the only person that I know. It comes from Cotton Bud. Yeah, that's the nickname of the perpetrator. Cotton Bud, because he's thin with a white bobble head, so we call him Cotton Bud. Me and Rob, and also I've told Brian the nickname as well. He doesn't realise that his nickname is Cotton Bud around. But anyway, so, and the thing is as well, when I mentioned to the police as well, you know, I mean that when I was arrested, that he's actually killed somebody before and all that, and the answer is, I mean, and they're very aggressive. How do you know? Because he told me. You know what I mean? So, when you know somebody has killed somebody before, you know what I mean, and then they come in towards you, you're not going to be like, oh, come and have a cookie. You know what I mean? No, you are going to think, right, defensive mode and all of that. You know, you think about it. If he's going after one of the police wouldn't be like, oh, I'm just going to hold these green doors and all that and everything else. No, they would have shot him dead, or basically tried to disarm him and all that and so forth. And do you know what, guys? I did not even lay one finger on this guy. I kept the green door, between me and him. You know what I mean? And then when I saw the little shiny little blade coming out from what he calls palming, speaking of cookies, you know what I mean? That's when I reached into my waistband to grab whatever I want. And guys, here's the action of somebody, right, that's going to stab somebody. Oh. You know what I mean? And my neighbour, you know what I mean, sort of like, did you the doors close 3 times? I mentioned that myself in the report. I told him to go away, and I closed the door 3 times, telling him, after I told him to go away. And but when he saw my bushcraft knife, you know what I mean, he legged it. You know what I mean? It was almost like a Crocodile Dundee moment. He comes with his knife, like, sort of thing. My knife's bigger. I mean, because what I could see, it was like a smallish knife and all that. And now this knife that I found in storage, I mean, it's not even half the size of that. You know what I mean? It's like a little tiddler thing. You know what I mean? Which I mentioned in the flipping statement I made as well. And so, finding that knife now, you know what I mean, is that the key on getting justice for me? You know what I mean? I'm not going to, satanic courtroom or nothing like that. I'm thinking of taking a photo of that knife and then back up in storage tomorrow. But the trouble is, if you see my storage, I've made a mess in there so much. Oh my. Me going through all of that again is going to be a nightmare, but it's in there now. I mean, that's the key thing. And Swansea Police and Gosayne Police and the courts, I'm not going to ask for an apology from you, because you've made your bed and now you can lie in it, because you have lied against me. And I'm forgiving you all because I speak nice to you guys. But you guys at Swansea Police, Gosayne Police, the courts and all that, you've all made your bed. You can go to hell. I mean, I've forgiven you, and I've given you guys plenty of opportunities to correct the mistake. And that's the thing, guys. When you've got the Christ Vino now, you give people a chance to correct their mistakes. And I've given them years of time to correct it. This knife showing up, it's like God saying, hey, is this what you're missing? And I'm like, hello. So, but yeah, and the report as well at Rob put in as well. You know, he said when Paul came back in, he looked shocked. I looked heavily shocked. I mean, because I didn't expect the knife to be there. I expected my fab spray to be there because, hey, the reason why I wanted my fab spray, right, is this. Anybody that knows about fab spray, you know why. But those who don't, I'll explain. The fab spray has like a 3 to 5 days of you trying to wash the bloody thing off, right? And these people have always, like, you know, up there, these druggies and that and so forth, up in all this court. They've always gotten away because they've always said, oh, I wasn't there, I understand, and so forth. But I got a particular colour fab spray at that time that, and I know nobody in Port List, to my knowledge, that had fab sprays. So, I mean, I'm the one who went off and bought these fab sprays, right? And the thing is as well, so when the perpetrator came, I thought, right, all I'm going to do is just go spray and make him look like a Tango advert, right? And then I could say to the police, look, this idiot just came towards me. Out of defense, I sprayed my fab spray, and he's trying to say that he didn't come to attack. And also, I mean, people would see me wear cameras all the time. Where's my thing as well? But anyway, I used to wear not like the shoulder thing you wear across and you put in front. You have a camera sticking out. I would have one on the front and one on the back to film from the back and film from the front and all of that. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't scared. I just needed evidence, right? All right. Oh, look at that, guys. Just had a call from Louise in the surgery. Text on the phone. I have resent the form to them, so fingers crossed we'll get it back soon. Yeah. My doggy, my God. They're not going to find this funny, but I am. They put, right, I just had a call from Louise in the surgery. I've resent the form to them, so fingers crossed we get it back soon. If not, they're always jumping off bridge. I'm like this with authorities because the authorities never rush, right? If you just say to them, oh, okay, great, thanks for that, they're like, But the thing is, because I've done blood magic and all that and so forth, I think they are a bit like, oh. I mean, and anybody that really knows me, right, they know I can be a crazy fucker in a good way, right? And I mean, I think only people that knows well, is I will jump from tree to tree just for the adrenaline rush. You know what I mean? It's a good job I have arthritis in my knees and all that, and where I can't climb trees these days. But back in the day, I used to be a mad fucker. I used to be like go up the top of the trees, find a nice safe place, and I just then just sleep and all that. You know what I mean? And so forth. And then all of a sudden, I have my mates, you know, shouting up, "Hey, Paul! Oh, I'm like, oh, what's that? What are you doing? Ah, just sleeping. What the fuck are you sleeping up there for?" And I said "fluck," by the way. So you know, so it's FLUCK. I say these days. So if it sounds a certain way, then no, I said FLUCK. Right? So, but he was like, "What the fuck are you doing up there?" and all that and so forth. And I was sleeping. This, I mean, I come down like daddy. So how long have you been sleeping up for? For about 10, 20 minutes. And the thing is as well, you know what I mean? Also, my bro got me this drop handlebar, right? The brakes weren't working, right? And my mate said, "Oh, let's go for a cycle ride." So we went for a cycle ride. I'm on this drop handlebar now with no brakes on the roadway. Everything's fine, right? Sod's Law coming up. We go on to the public path with no cars and all that and so forth, cycling away, and a brick out from nowhere hits the back. I come flying off it. my face comes, I come crashing down, face into the ground and all that and so forth, right? And me and my mate now like walking and all that. So we find this place. This guy, he's got an ice cream van. Right? He takes me back home and all that. My mate takes my bike back to his place, and I go to hospital and all that. And I come back home and people are like, my family are like, why did you take that bike out? And I'm like, I wanted to ride. It had no brakes. And I went, I got my feet to stop. But I think that's a typical Gen X move, isn't it? That's typical Gen X's. And don't forget, a lot of us Gen X's back, we didn't have like safety, like helmets and bloody pads and all. So when we fell off, it'd be like scraping up your, and the thing is as well, I had my exams that week as well, and I couldn't see properly. So when they said to so by the time I finished the exams, anything above an F was a pass in my case because I couldn't see properly. You know what I mean? So when they said to me, "Oh, you've got D's here, you got to get a couple of C's here and all that," and I was like, "Oh, cool, pretty good for somebody who couldn't see." and people are asking me, you shouldn't be here. You should wait and all that. And I'm like, no. Because the teacher said to me, if you can't see the paper properly, why you wait for it to swell and go down and come in the following week and you do it? I went, no. It's my own fault. I went out, and I need to do this right now because I shouldn't have special treatment for the mistakes I made. You know what I mean? So maybe I should have. Maybe I would have had better grades if I could see the things properly and everything else. But that's in the past. Nothing I can change in that now. But I held myself to account and responsible for what my actions and all that. But my mum also told me as well, right? My father wasn't too happy. You know what I mean? And at this time as well, we didn't know my father was seeing somebody else at the time as well. You know what I mean? My mum's always said to me, maybe you pulled him away from him shagging her that night. And I'm like, could have. Maybe God was using me to try to stop adultery that night. But anyway, I'll be right back. I need to go to the toilet. One blow. Here's a question, guys, as well. A toilet-related question as I come from the toilet. Well, not actually from the toilet, but from having a wee. How many of you could fill this? in one simple piss. You know what I mean? Because I've noticed, guys, in the past, I mean, when I've gone through wee, sometimes it comes up to about here from a single wee and all of that and a lot of that. So I'm wondering how many of you guys, yeah, I mean, when you go to the toilet, it seems like you're there forever despite your going, you know what I mean, and all of that, you know, water, you know, it's coming out of you and you're like yourself, okay, I'm still here. You know what I mean? Yeah, it happens to me a lot, that guys. You know what I mean? I just, yeah, I mean, you don't have to put it, down, guys. You know what I mean? But be nice to know how many people that's like saying, "Oh, I'll be back in a minute now." 20 minutes later, you're still left pissing away. You think to yourself, "Huh, okay." Yeah, sometimes I've got, I go there and I take something with me sometimes, you know, and I'm just letting it freely wee when I'm holding something like reading. Yep, there we go. Oh man. But anyway, doing two things at once, reading and a pissing. Anyway, but anyway, happy birthday to Beatrice, whoever that is. That's one thing as well. You know, I mean, and I got Carl who responded back there and all that and everything. I've noticed that one thing that the authorities are very wary of me. I mean, for me to have the level of dark humor I've got, they know I've been through hell and back. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I've noticed it with a lot of people that have gone through, you know, I mean, very troubling times that they develop this, you know, and I mean, like proper traumatic level that there's this level of deep dark humor that comes about and all of that, you know what I mean? And I've noticed it's like a survival mechanism as well, you know what I mean? And so they know some of the things I talk about and all of that, and I think, you know what I mean? And things I've noticed as well is it's like people in the military, they laugh. People have been in the military and all of that and so forth. It's like my friend who did like 13 years in the army and stuff like that. He's disabled now and all that, but also a slash veteran as well. I mean, but he, you know, what I mean, he's got a wicked dark sense of humor, same as me, and we get along. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. And plus, when I speak to, I mean, a lot of the military guys and you know what I mean, female and male. Not all of them, but a percentage of them laugh their flipping heads off. You know what I mean? And they make me laugh as well. I'm very hard to make laugh as well. If you can make me laugh, you know what I mean? Nice one. And so yeah, you know what I mean? So my dark sense of humour is thing. And the thing is as well, right? One of my friends as well, who's known me for over 30 years, right? When I go and do the cannibal jokes or the necromancing jokes or whatever, you know what I mean? He's like, Paul, you know I'm uncomfortable with that. Or if I start talking about ghostly things, supernatural things at 9 at night and all of that, and I go like, you know what I mean? And he's like, you've done it again, Paul. I'm not comfortable about speaking these things at a certain time. Because he knows that not that far from me, right? Not far from the same police station as well. There is a cemetery, you know what I mean? And I, you know what I mean? There's actually quite a few cemeteries, and I'm happily and comfortable going to cemeteries at night and all that, and do private ghost huntings and all that, you know what I mean? Well, my mate ain't. Right? And I've asked him, when they come along to these ghost huntings and all that, I mean, don't forget, I'm going there. I got like a bit of nerves going on and stuff like that. The human flesh is like the standing on the end, like, oh, why are we here? But because I believe in God and all that, I'm like, well, if I die, I come back home. So I'm there and all that. And it's like when I was in Port Dulles, there's a cemetery not far. Back then, they had a fish bar on top of the hill, right? And next to the to the King pub. And I would go up, turn right, follow the road round. Which if you follow the road round, you come to here eventually. Not exactly here. You're going to take like a few turns off, but it will roughly get you to where I am. But back then, I'd follow it around. At night, about 12, at night, I'd go to this cemetery, and I'd be by the wall looking in and so forth, just about to thinking, right, I need to find a way to get in. I would see this dark, shadowy figure, and every part of my senses said to me, get the heck out of here. Normally, I would ignore or getting the heck out of here. But even my gut, it was going, no, don't go in. This thing is pure evil. And it was like an eggy, sodium type smell and all that. And a lot of the other stuff. And I was like, maybe this one is where I should just walk away. So I filmed it. I walked away as well. And as I was walking away, the street lights at night were flickering as I was walking away and all that, and I just was like, I think I don't forget, I got arthritis in my knees and all that, so I can't run. So I'm trying to walk like a bit quicker. And so if you ever needed a test to find out if anybody's disabled or not, that would have been a good test, and all that, because like, well, I can't run, all I can ask is for the Spirit of God. And the grace and everything like that. So now, and I'm starting to feel now heavy. I'm starting to feel down and all that, and so forth. I can feel something very dark, and I get to a certain point. I feel this wrapping around me, and it wasn't darkness. It felt like something more of like a spiritual fire sort of thing, like a serenity bliss type thing, and at this point I'm weak, I just been drained and all of that, and I thought I wasn't going to get home, but this thing wrapped around me and stuff like that, and it got me home, and And people have asked me, why am I so tough on a lot of things? I'm not tough on a lot of things because I want to. But if I see a lot of evil, I deflect it out. You know what I mean? Because I know what it's like for evil to try and get in and try and bring you down and this, that, and everything else. But to go through a moment where something wraps around you, brings you home to safety and all of that as well, on a spiritual level, on a godly level and all of that. You cannot deny the divine, the one, and all that, and so forth. You can't. So, I told my friend about it as well. The one who served like 13 years in the military, and me and him had a coffee together over it and stuff like that. And it's mental. And I get a lot of people to this day, who are angry at me. And I'm like, why are you angry at me? I don't know you. And I've been looking into texts. I've been looking into to the Bible. I've been looking into what other people have said through their videos and that. When you have like the Holy Spirit and all that and so forth and all that, you will stir demons up within their body and they'll attack you for no reason. And I'm like, oh. Okay, I get it now. Okay. But yeah, so, and that's why I wind up, a lot of those that have that have got principalities controlling them, because when you think about it, when you see the symbolism and all of that and everything else, and those that are trying to control you and all that, I mean, I do think those are the principalities that are trying to rule over us, to drag us down into hell and everything else. And I'll tell you this one story as well, what happened to me. And my friend saw this with his own eyes. I mean, because in the moment, I didn't know what happened to my clothing, right? And me and him, I mean, at this point, me and him would meet, in the middle of the corridors, and we were getting to know each other. At this point, we would sit down in our chairs and all that. But in this moment, I was like standing on this particular day. We were on a little conversation. Sometimes we would chat like 4 or 5 hours, just in the corridor, and and we decided to get chairs, buy chairs from Amazon and desks. These little small foldable desks and all that. And we would have a conversation. You sitting down, and then all of a sudden, he saw me like suddenly close my eyes, and I stepped back. You know what I mean? But from my perspective, I was fighting something that was trying to grab onto me and take control of me and stuff like that. But from his perspective, have I got my thing near me? You know those lumberjack coats you get with like checkered, like black, grey, white. I had one of those on, right? And what he noticed, instead of just like part of my jacket, black, every bit of my clothing from top to bottom went black. You know what I mean? And he saw me step back like something that hit me, right? Then he noticed my head just dropped down and my hands and all that. And then all of a sudden he saw me then stepping back up. You know what I mean? Because inside, I was casting, you could say, spell or whatever. You know what I mean? I was asking God for help and all that and so forth. And next minute, he saw my clothes coming back to normal again, with the white and the grey and the black checkered all came back in properly, you know what I mean? And I was wearing black combats as well, you know what I mean? And my shoes came back the right colour as well. I don't think I was wearing black shoes back then, I can't remember. But anyway, I think they were like brown or something like that. Anyway, everything that was dark and shadowy and black that was over me disappeared, you know what I mean? And he just said to me, I don't know what the heck happened to you, but if I didn't see it from my own eyes, what happened to you, I would not have believed it. The things I have seen with you, I would not have believed if you just told me about them. You know? Because he has seen things with me that would shock a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people would be running. But yet, and he even said there was like this eye looking down over you as well. And he did say to somebody in the area that is a witch, and he said people around you, that attacking you, they do know a witch and all that and so forth. And yet, I just let myself be in God's hands. That's why I dropped my head and I just went, right, handing myself over to you now. Basically do your work, in other words. And I just come out of it, you know what I mean? Not controlled, none of that, witchcraft holding over me or nothing like that. And yeah, I mean, it's been pretty messed up, I mean, what I've gone through. And I've got witnesses as well. That's the beauty about it. I mean, I've got witnesses that have seen me. I mean, like Rob. I mean, who's from Pondolas. I mean, yeah, some people are shocked. I mean, what I've gone through, and on top of that as well, which sorry for the witch, but one night. Me, Rob, and Karen, right? We were sort of like together one night, and we were just talking and so forth. She went up to the what you call it to the thing, but we noticed when she came back, she said like, "Oh, demonic possession," or that, and so forth. And there was like a marking on her leg, sort of thing. I was like, "That's interesting." I thought to myself, you know what I mean? And it looked like an energy marking. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys know about energy markings, but it looked like something energetically attacked her and left an energy marking there. And back then, I didn't have much coffee back in those days. I was mainly on water and stuff like that. My body was like pretty much pure and clean. You know what I mean? Unlike the coffee I'm drinking now. So I thought, okay, you know, I mean, I've sort of like seen people across the world through videos and all that, transfer positive energy across and heal and all that. Don't forget, right? I'm just going out on a limb, right? I didn't think it'd work, you know what I mean? So I just went fresh across, started focusing, sending like positive energy across and all that, and so forth. And at this point, you know what I mean, I'm still believing in God and all that, and I still am to this very day, you know what I mean? And basically, I put my hand on on her arm, sort of thing, and then she looked down at her leg. She noticed the markings gone, and Rob noticed the markings had gone, had cleared, and all that. And I went to myself, I went, well, that worked. I didn't think it would work. She looked at me shocked. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, I don't know if I mean, I don't think who was more shocked, me or her, but. And me and Rob, I've talked about that quite a few times. You know what I mean? That wasn't me doing it. I think that was God again working through me, Jesus and all that working through me. You know what I mean? And this is what I mean. You know what I mean? If I had to do it right now, nah, no chance, because I've drunk so much coffee. You know, I mean, there's still a bit of toxins, a lot of toxins in me right now, and all of that and stuff like that. But back then, I was eating mainly veg, drinking water and a lot more. And yeah, I mean, but my faith in God has gone up these days. It was a lot lower back then, but I was more purified back then as well. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, like Rob said to me, yeah, I mean, if I hadn't seen the things that I've seen you do, I would not believe you if you just came up and told me, and I'm like, that's why I'd rather have witnesses. I'd rather, it's not my place to say what I've done and what I haven't done, really. You know what I mean? It's down to you guys if you want to spread the truth about me or not. I'm just in this world doing what I can do, and that's it. You know what I mean? So if God tells me I'm going to do it, I'll do it. Plain and simple. What's the old saying? Kiss, innit? Keep it simple, stupid. So, and I think that's why the authorities don't like me. I think that's why the councils, the courts, the police, and all that hate me, because they're working from Satan. I mean, the synagogue of Satan, the demonic side of things, and all that. I think that's why they hate me, because if God said to me, speak out against a judge, and I had evidence and all that, I would. If I had evidence on a whole police force and they're corrupt, and God said to me, well, it's your time now to speak out of it, I would. I mean, I wouldn't need to say, oh, hold on a minute, and I'll be like, no, thank you. Right, done. You know what I mean? If God went, right, yeah, okay, thank you. On mic, speak it. You know what I mean? Speaking of a judge, actually, there's one Swansea judge, right? Swansea Crown Court judge, and he's definitely a part of the Mason group. But I forgot his name. He was part of my court case, and they're talking. He's in the paper, going, oh, we're against knife crime and all of that and so forth. You know what I mean? And And I remember the words he said to me. Right, I've never forgotten this. Right, he said to me, "There's no such thing as pedophilia." Right. So I leave that courtroom thinking to myself, "What's wrong with that guy?" You know what I mean? And I didn't shout at him, nothing like that. I just went away. Well, it wasn't my place to say anything yet. You know what I mean? Because I got no evidence against him and nothing like that, and so on. So I just go away. And then the following day, I see him there with his thing going across and all that. And then something said to me, "You need to do your research, not on him, but on the Freemasons in the area." And one of the pubs is where all the judges and all that go to and all that. And I just thought, hold on a minute, what is the layout of the Swansea authorities? I mean, is there a Masonic thing nearby? And the thing is now, Pobble has moved, but where Pobble used to be, and they were under a different name called Gwalior at the time. And I noticed the courts, the police, all the authorities are all close to a Masonic building. And I was like, ah. And my friends and people that I've talked to, either through Unseen or on Discord or privately, off the internet, they've all said, I think they're only coming after you because you're close to something. Because it's interesting, they didn't want you to put your evidence forward, they didn't want you to do this, they didn't want you to do that. You are close about something. And even my mate, who's very skeptical of the stuff I've looked into over the years, he's also said recently, I mean, the stuff you said back then, I was like, nah. You know what I mean? But now, it's come about. Not because it's you, you know what I mean, all that. But, like you've always said, you look at the clues, you look at the information, you do this and so forth, and you let other people, use discernment. You show people the links, you let them go off and read it for themselves, you let other people, go off and do the research. You know what I mean? Because there's no point me saying it's the truth or lie. There's no point. Because people, no matter if you say the truth, people will still say, "Oh, you're a liar," or you tell them. People will always, you notice how when people lie, they say, "Oh no, that person's not lying." They tell the truth. So people will always, will say what's true or lie anyway. You know what I mean? In their own perceptions. You know what I mean? So I've always said, "Hey guys, use the information, use the links, go and have a look for yourself, and go nuts." You know what I mean? I don't mean go nuts like that, but enjoy reading what you're reading. You know what I mean? And so, and that's how I developed a little bit of a connection with people, but people know I have trust issues as well. So people be like, "Oh, we're getting to know Paul and all that," and then all of a sudden I disappear because I'm like, I don't want to be around people now. I need to gather my thoughts. I need to be with God. I need to be with this and get myself, back centered again and all that. You know what I mean? So then I come back out again, and I'm, because people have noticed. I used to have a Discord group, right? I had people in there and all that. And then one day, I felt like a darkness coming over me and so forth, and I just went, poof, deleted the whole Discord. It disappeared. It went and all that. And I went and did self-reflection and basically did all that. And this is a side where the authorities don't see. This is the side a lot of people don't see about me. You know what I mean? And I've grown stronger for it. And I've noticed I don't need people around me. You know what I mean? It's nice to chat and all that, don't get me wrong. But I'm not like I used to be rushing out, "Oh, I need to socialize," because I realize the system and all that and so forth wants you to feel like you're missing out. I realize by me just being me and getting to know me, I'm not missing out. And it's gonna sound funny as well. I mean, when I split up with Justine, after us being together for 8 years and all that, I mean, I got into my head of I've never really gotten to know me. You know what I mean? Despite I was doing things for everyone else, but I never got to know me. You know what I mean? Despite I did a bit of self-reflection, shadow work before I met her, but I realized it wasn't enough to know me. You know what I mean? And it says in the Bible to know thyself. Then when me and her split up, when I was separate ways, I got to know me on a deeper level. And I realized I did have a lot to give to her and a lot to other people, but I needed to know me. You know what I mean? So as my family noticed, I thought, what's one of the things I enjoy? And I remember one of the groups that got introduced to me by Michelle. You know, so if y'all watching Michelle, thanks. And I went off and listened to the Man Street Preachers, right? And I remember, you know what I mean? And I bought a ticket and all that in 2016. Went to watch them in Swansea. Were they 2015 or 16? It was anyway. I bought a ticket and I went to go and see them. And I was like, I went on my own, you know, because I was on a journey getting to know myself. You know, what do I like, what I don't like now these days, spiritually growing and all of that and everything, right? And then I noticed some things at the concert, nothing to do with the marriage, but what was put on the side by the council and all that. I thought that was interesting. And you know, I mean, and the council puts like a message like burn things down and all that. And I thought, interesting. So I came out of that concert and then moved on. I started looking into other things. You know what I mean? And got home and despite I was going on Twitch gaming and all that and so on, I noticed I wasn't enjoying gaming as much as I used to, and people noticed that. I've noticed, like this week, when you become a new thing for God and all of that, you know, I mean, it does teach about the things that you used to enjoy. You actually start losing. What was it? What's the word they used? Anyway, I didn't feel the need. I needed to I must go and game, or I must go and do this. You know what I mean? My interest wasn't there. Don't get me wrong. I still game these days and all that, but I'm not rushing to go and play a game and all that and so what. Despite my game now is Minecraft still these days and all that. You know what I mean? But the other games, I mean, the games like Call of Duty I used to play, Quake 3 and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've stopped playing those. You know what I mean? And I noticed because there's one game that I was adamant that of saying to people, no, I'm not playing it. And that was Daddy Shower. You know what I mean? I found it a blasphemy on so many levels, right? Now, despite that, people saying to me, "Oh no, it's just a game and all of that," and I was like, "No." You know what I mean? The eyes that I was given, you know what I mean, and so forth. I don't mean these biological eyes, but my mum and dad having sex, and then this body was created, and then these eyes are there for me to see. I mean, spiritual eyes, and spiritual ears. And I could see the perversion in that game. And I was like, no, I'm not playing that. No matter how many times people said to me, no, you must play it. No, I mean, the rest of us are playing it. I was like, no, I'm not playing it. I mean, and they notice my line in the sand is deep. When I've got that line, in the sand, I'm not budging from it. Many people have told me to stop researching and investigating. Have I stopped? No. I mean, I've had doubts as well, to stop, but I haven't stopped. You know what I mean? I'm still looking into things. I'm still speaking out. I'm still They've got things in the window and all that. You know what I mean? Because it's the right thing to do, even if it gets me killed. I've even said to a police officer, if you think I'm wrong and all of that, and you don't want me to come back and speak out and all that so forth, I said, shoot me right now. If you think I've done all these things and all of that and so forth, shoot me right now. And the officer, you know what I mean, he was told not to move, you know what I mean, by the other officers, but he moved. He walked away. He's like, no, I don't like it. I think I made him uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Maybe God made him move. I don't know. But he was told to stay there no matter what. But he left. You know what I mean? And I looked behind. You know what I mean? I saw the other officers with their heads down on the day that I got arrested, you know, all these years ago. But that's a side story, you know. But I don't know. I don't know what it is about me that people feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I will not physically attack you. You know what I mean? I will not. You know what I mean? I will not verbally attack you. No, I won't. Will I speak out? Yes. Will I call out on the corruption? Yes. Will I call my own corruption out if I realise there's something needs to be called out upon? Oh, definitely yes. And it was, you know, it doesn't matter what people say about me. I'm the most critical being to myself. If you guys can relate to that you're the most critical person about yourself, yeah. You know what I mean? I'm very critical of myself. You know what I mean? If I'm calling out people, then I'm calling myself out on, you know what I mean? I've called myself out on so many, many things, you know what I mean? And I think you've got to as well. If you're going to walk the path and all of that and so forth, of Christ and all of that and everything, you got to call out every sin that you've done. I mean, there's things that I have done, I'm not happy, you know what I mean? And I've called myself out on it, you know what I mean? When I was young, I was like, oh, you know what I mean? I didn't think about it. Then when I got older and I looked back and I'm like, oh, damn. You know what I mean? Like, I should not have done that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Not as bad that you see a lot that others have done today, but in my eyes, to me, it's end of the world stuff. But, you know what I mean? You know, stuff like taking an apple from somebody else's tree and all this other stuff. To me, that was like end of the world stuff. You know what I mean? As well as other things. You know what I mean? But now when I see today's youth, not all of them, but a lot of them, they're going around with knives, stabbing people, this, that, and so forth. I'm like, okay, I was in my eyes. I thought what I did was bad, but seeing what these lot are doing, hot damn. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I mean, it's what do you call it? I'm very harsh on myself, very, very harsh, and I think that's how and I figured as well, as my dad will tell you, very rarely I'll go to him, very rarely, you know what I mean? Because I like to do it myself. I like to see if I can solve something myself. I like to see, you know what I mean? I've out of all that, like, I'm 47 this year, and I think I've only gone to him like a few times, you know what I mean? And because when I was on remand, we did the shoulder thing and all that. And like I said to my stepmom, I like doing things for myself and all that. And you know what I mean, because I've seen people, they keep going and going and going and asking for advice and all of that and so forth, but yet they don't do anything with the advice. They don't, what do you call it? And yet I've had people telling me, yeah, I mean, but you're the person that should be going to these people and asking for advice all the time. So, because you've gone through hell and back. And I'm like, no. Because I tell you why I don't like going to people for advice and all of that and everything else. It's going to sound morbid. Yeah, I mean, I just go to God more than anything. But I know, because we are made of flesh and all that, and we are going to die. The flesh is going to be gone and all that and so forth. So I put myself in situations of, I mean, and even the devil puts me in situations. God puts me in situations as well. And I think to myself, what if these people were not there tomorrow? You know what I mean, or they died today? It sounds morbid. I mean, I hope they got like a few years left in them. You know what I mean? those that are still here. I think, what if they're not here tomorrow? Then I'm going to have to do it on my own anyway. You know what I mean? I'm very tough on myself that way. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, you know what I mean? Despite those have turned around to me and say, hey, you know what I mean? You need to think about yourself and all that. I am thinking about myself. I'm thinking the days when they are not here. You know what I mean? And I can't ask them for support when I can't, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And I'm still going to have to do it on my own. You know what I mean? Well, not on my own because I got God. But, I mean, on a people level, not on a thing level. You know what I mean? And a lot of the stuff I do, you know what I mean? If it wasn't for God in my life, I would not have done the stuff I've done. Because this body, you know what I mean, is a wreck. You know what I mean? But with God helping me, you know what I mean, and the stuff I've done, yeah. And the thing is, well, I've done some strange things in the public's eyes, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, because when I did this in a church, I took a Father's Day card and just placed it on the thing. And the people in the church, you know, I mean, they weren't mean. They were like, why are you putting a Father's Day card there? I said, well, if he's supposed to be our father, then why don't we give him a Father's Day card? And I never forget that moment. And I noticed as well in that moment, despite I got baptized in that church and all that and so forth, I noticed even in the house of God, I'm different to my fellow Christians. You know what I mean? And I was like, for a while, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? They, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I had a good time there. I learned a lot and so forth and everything. You know what I mean? I want to say thanks for that. But yeah, my path wasn't to be with them for years and years and years and end like some people. You know what I mean? When I went away with them from that church and then I moved into another area and this that and so on, I realized, hold on, mate, my connection is actually quite deep, and you know what I mean, with the Heavenly Father. You know what I mean? So I realized no matter where I go, I don't need to speak through a priest. I don't need to speak through a nun. I don't have to speak through a monk or whatever. Something. I can just speak that, you know, directly and all that. And so when people say to me, oh no, you need to go to a church and all of that," but then I sat down and I thought to myself, what if all these buildings disappeared? You know what I mean? There's none of these bricks, none of the glass here. You know what I mean? No ceiling and stuff like that, right? Then how would we form a church? And it may sound stupid or not, but this is the answer I got. Each person is a brick for that church. You know what I mean? Anyone who believes in God and all that and doing things that Christ, you know, I mean, will never be, you know, I mean, 100% what Christ did and all that. That's why we put our faith in Him and all that. But each and every one of us is that brick for the church of Christ. So no matter where we go, we are the church. We don't need a physical building, because this is the temple. I know it's probably sounds stupid or whatever, but just think of that. You know what I mean? Tomorrow. You know what I mean? Think about it. If 99% of people turned into a Satanist, went with the devil and all of that, and you weren't allowed in any physical building, but you still carried Christ with you and all that, and did Christ's teachings, you still that church, that ministry. Think about it. So on that note, you guys take care, okay? Bye for now.
In the basin of my chest, I am the grease for the grinding iron teeth. A sequence of numbers etched into the wrist. The weight of the system is a mountain of salt.
Lord, let the iron break. Let the iron break.
The sky is a sheet of lead that never parts. I breathe the soot of 1,000 dying fires. My pulse is tethered to the rhythmic hammer, waiting for the rust to claim the frame. The iron stars watch from the vault above, lidless eyes mapping the path of the blood. Every movement is a needle on the dial, a body reduced to a function of the state. Silence beneath the roaring piston, where the self is buried under layers of scale. The mind is a ruin where the cold wind dwells. No words remain to bridge the great distance.
Release the bolts, release. Unbind the soul from the crushing wave. That kills.